Some exciting news, guys. The studio of the Spiel, all of this, we are moving. Now, it's been an incredible nearly 5 years, 5 full years. I believe we came here in 2020. Rob is going, yes, off camera. Okay, we came here in 2020. We have hosted some incredible guests. We continue to be sponsored by Prairie Farms, which we are so appreciative. And today, the chef that we have coming on is just amazing. And we are going to cook with the best butter. I'm talking about a lot of butter. So you want to stick around for that. We also have some incredible music that we have handpicked for this last episode. We have a guy that has joined our team on the growing media side of things. We're going to white label. He is a web design extraordinaire, e-commerce guy, that kind of thing. Lucas, some days you remember, some days you don't. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is a great day.
Is it a great day?
It's going to be a memorable day because this is our last show in this studio. And I'm very excited for the new one.
Yes.
But I am also a little bit sad.
What have been some of your favorite occurrences?
I mean, I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the fact that you guys even let me on the team.
We did let you on the. This was the birth of Lucas joining the Spiel.
The first month that we were here is when I joined.
Yeah, he called.
And so this is all I know.
Emailed and called some more.
Yeah.
And here we are. I mean, we're talking about 981 million households shooting from the square in Marion, Illinois, where they have had an ice rink flown in from where? Overseas.
Italy.
Italy, yes. And then I understand just down the street, a former either American Idol or Voice winner, they're opening up a brewery, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the best coffee shop in Southern Illinois.
There's a coffee shop right down the road. So we're either going to drink a lot of coffee or a lot of other stuff. And
also it's where we had the Mama for the first time.
Oh, yeah,
downtown
the Mid-American
Marion.
Music Awards.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good. It's so good. So
Yeah.
we are excited. We're going to be doing the same great broadcast. We're actually going to step it up. I promise you, our commitment is not going to change to delivering the very best of everything. Stay right there. We'll be right back. So we've been talking a lot during this show about moving, a move that's coming up. We're super excited. So not only are we going to take the studios of the Spiel, but growing media somewhere else. And Ben, it just makes sense to have Ben Childers on here with us because Ben was an intern.
I was, a long time ago.
Many, many, many years ago. Only one location ago, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. The one over Heron.
Yes,
Heron Marion
Carterville,
area.
Crossroads,
Yep.
yes. And you said you made just a cameo appearance on a show before?
Yeah, I was on the show. It was like the summer before my senior year of college.
Okay.
And
No,
I was
old.
working a camera.
Yes.
And for one of the outros, you had me come up and introduce myself and say, hey, so
about
there's going to be an infant Ben Childers clip somewhere on the Spiel. So
Okay, well, you just opened yourself up. So at GM Growing Media, we produce the Spiel. We also take care of a lot of commercial clients, all the commercials that you see on this TV show. And those clients need web work. And you're really, really, really good at that.
I don't know how. It's just practice, I guess. You do it a lot in practice, I guess. Yeah.
I guess I'm surprised. So that out of everything that you could do in the industry, that pretty much captured your heart?
Yeah, and it's just kind of that there's the need for it. Is
definitely.
Everybody needs, website is where everything is now.
That's right.
And the design and the look of the website is the most important piece to the conversion of a website. And so there's so much of a need that it was kind of just by necessity that a lot of people need websites. And so I'll just make myself available and do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that is the thing. Every time we get a new commercial client, they say, well, we love our videos, the messaging. I think our social is on point, but man, we don't like our website.
Yep.
Why has that been such a thing? Because everybody just felt like that's the first thing you needed, so they went out and they didn't spend enough time in design, or what happened?
There's a lot of upkeep to websites. You can have a great website built, and then a year later, you have new employees, or you've just realigned your business's mission a little bit and refocused, and then now your website feels like it's behind. And so even if you have a great website built, within sometimes 6 months to a year, it's like outdated.
Isn't that the truth?
And so the biggest thing with websites is that they're a lot of work, and then it's a lot of maintenance. And so I just try to be a service to people and help with all that stuff.
Well, you have been. I mean, it's amazing what he's done already for some of our clients. And at the end of the day, you just want to make money, right? So if you're making money with your website, it's working, and that's a good thing. And what we've done is we've asked people to submit some questions. So we're going to ask those of Ben when we come back. So stay right there.
Every day when I come into work, I am happy to be here. I love the staff I work with. They're all committed to making our patients better. I think every day you come in just hoping you're going to connect with someone and maybe make their life a little better and be able to help make a difference for them. I do think, in medicine, we really need to look at doing preventative care for people, and I really have a heart for that. So we just really try to provide a coordinated care for people where they don't have to travel long distances to get access to care.
So we told you we're going to put you a little bit on the hot seat, but we're
do
not. I mean, there's some pretty basic questions, because the issue with the website is just when you think you have it figured out, like you said, they're forever changing them. You've got to make sure that they're dynamic, they're working for you within whatever space. You have e-commerce to think about. You have safety to think about of your clients. What are some of those most commonly asked questions that you get?
So a couple big ones is people will say they just had this website built, and they'll be like, it's just not working. We're not getting sales, or we're not getting leads, or whatever it is. They just feel like it's not actually converting.
Right.
And so one of the things that a lot of people do is they'll just have me come in. I'll do what's called a site audit, and that's basically I'm going to go through your website as if I'm a customer. I'm going to click every button. I'm going to see where the customer gets lost, and usually there is a page somewhere in your site that you don't realize where it's just kind of a dead end page and customers just get lost. So with e-commerce, you want to make it as smooth from product to checkout as possible.
Right.
With services, you want that lead form right there in front of them as quickly as possible. And so one of the biggest shortfalls of most websites is that there's a dead end and you're losing a lot of customers right there. So that's the most common is like, why is my website not working?
Well, I'm going to brag a little bit about you before I take you into basic Web 101. So you've actually been called upon to design some websites for like those people doing that little known show Shark Tank?
Y'all Sweet Tea, they are awesome. Their product, we buy it all the time now. It's just a great tea. And so I was able to rebuild their website back about last March, so about a year ago now. And they've just continued to scale the business since then, and just got a very large deal on Shark Tank.
That's awesome.
A few months ago, and I was able to, the shark, she was like, this website is awesome. And so stuff like that, it's pretty cool to just have a small piece in that.
Well, I'm going to ask you some of these questions because, no question is a bad question or a dumb question. But somebody asked, what is a domain name and what's the best way to decide on that?
So a domain name is what your URL is. So if you imagine www.growingmedia.com, whatever that is your domain. And that is basically your address on all of the internet.
Okay.
And so a couple things to consider there is you want it to be short and memorable and make sense. So some people get so focused on short, they just go to an acronym.
Okay.
And now you're like, this is just a jumbled mess of letters. This doesn't make sense. So you want to kind of balance. It's obvious, it makes sense, but you still want it to be short so it's easy to remember.
Hosting can be a little tricky. When somebody says web hosting, what are they talking about?
So web hosting is basically your protection for your domain, essentially. So that is where your domain lives, and that is what keeps it secure for your customers is the most important part. You've always remember when Target had all of their customer data leaked. That's a privacy thing, and that all goes back to your hosting.
Wow.
And so you want your hosting to be very encrypted.
Yeah.
That also affects your site speed.
Okay.
And so it's kind of the stuff you don't think about, but is the most important piece of your website success.
Absolutely. And, these terms people throw around all the time, but you wonder how much they really understand them. SEO, SEM. Talk about that.
So SEO is the big one. That is search engine optimization.
Right.
Which is basically your ranking on, I'm going to say Google, because about 80% of searches are Google, but it could be any of those. But that is your ranking. So all of those search engine sites want to make sure that the websites they show at the top are safe, are secure,
Yes.
are reliable. They don't want to show a scam website at the top. So they look for things like how long your site's been around, keywords, how applicable it is to the search,
Okay.
all of that stuff
Okay.
to give you your ranking,
All
which
right.
is very valuable because when somebody's interested in, say, cowboy boots, and you're trying to sell cowboy boots, you want to
Yes.
make sure that you show up at the top for the search cowboy boots.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, and then the search engine marketing.
Yes. So that is kind of the paid side of
Okay.
search engine optimization. So like all things, you kind of have to pay to play,
Right.
especially more and more as web is growing. And so that is basically targeting search keywords
Right.
with your website, but you pay a little bit to show up first.
Right.
So that can be shopping, it can be just search keywords, it can be a whole host of things.
And then finally, just the e-commerce site.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that people should just keep in mind when they are going to jump onto the web to do business?
You really need a effective design of your site in e-commerce.
Yeah.
You can't just put the products up with a button to buy now and that's it.
Right.
Because there is so much competition, you need to stand out. You have to be unique and be easy to use and be pretty.
Yeah.
Is really what websites
doubt.
you want to
And
be
functional.
on a appeasing
Yeah.
website that's very easy to use. And
Yeah.
so with e-commerce, you kind of have to commit. You can't just put it up and expect to get sales.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Ben.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you coming on. Stick around. We've got a great show today. And you already know this to be true. And this is the last one from this studio on Wall Street in Carbondale, Illinois. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Elizabeth Michaels, and I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and certified diabetes education specialist here at Christopher Rural Health. I work with patients to set and achieve realistic health goals and to empower them to better manage their diabetes effectively. We work together to come up with an individualized treatment plan that facilitates better health and quality of life. I'm here to provide education, support, and resources for people with diabetes and their friends and families so that they can enjoy the best possible quality of life amidst a challenging but treatable disease.
It's not I who live, but Christ who lives in me. The reigning King of Kings, He is my victory.
You know, for the first time in my life, I'm hearing and I'll just quote some of these incredible publications, a career-defining performance.
I do wish more people would understand the severity of their choice. I realize that it's a hard habit to quit. And so what I would tell people that if they're struggling with the addiction of, cigarettes or vaping or whatever, and they want to quit, but they just don't know how, that there is help out there. There's resources to look up. There's places to go to really help you kick the habit and be there for you and your loved ones and everyone that cares about you.
Did you know your teenager's brain is more likely to get addicted to nicotine than yours? The tobacco and vaping industries do. They target teens with their products and try to cover up the fact that there's nicotine in them. They're trying to get your kids addicted and make them customers for life, but you can stop them. Talk with your kids about the real dangers of vaping. The tobacco and vaping industries sure won't.
Hi, everybody. My name is Israel Lopez. I'm so glad to be back here on the Spiel today. I can't wait to share with you this song. It's called I Testify. My testimony is Him and Him crucified. Every breath all my days, even when I die. I was made for his purpose. Every sin-stained moment, all I've done before, covered by his grace and ever crimson flow. Now I live in his goodness. Because of him I'm made righteous. I testify of Jesus Christ, who paid the price and gives eternal life to all who would believe. He is the truth, bringing liberty, with loving kindness, healing in his wings to all who would believe that he alone redeems. It's not I who live, but Christ who lives in me, the reigning King of kings. He is my victory. All things bow to his lordship. He is worthy of worship. Yes, I testify of Jesus Christ, who paid the price and gives eternal life to all who would believe. He is the truth, bringing liberty, with loving kindness, healing in his wings to all who would believe that he alone redeems. And I'm God's child, free and born again. I'm living proof that his mercy never ends. And I'm God's child, free and born again. I'm living proof that his mercy never ends. Come and see what he's done. He's turned my life around. He can do it for you. Just receive him now. The Father's arms are wide open. His blood for you, it has spoken. Marked by love, now you're chosen.
On this week's Spiel on Entertainment, it is a short story by Pulitzer Prize winning playwright Arthur Miller. Jeremy Piven is in the performance, and according to Tim Estiloz, it is award-worthy.
We're broke because I love to dance. Hermé, you are a true artist. How would you like to perform at the Kick Club? One performance. Who do you work for?
Jeremy Piven, it's a pleasure to chat with you about this film. Thank you for joining us on the Spiel.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I caught the film about 3 weeks ago at a really small but special screening in Los Angeles. I truly enjoyed this film, and I'm got great hopes for it as we head into award season, as well as for an audience finding it.
Well, thank you. It's a those are great words to hear, because listen, just getting a movie made is a miracle. It really is. And I'm almost thinking about doing a film about the making of this film. It took us 15 years. And yeah, if you never give up it's hard to beat a guy who never gives up.
Tell us a little bit about this film. Let our audience know what this film is all about, because as you said, it took 15 years to get made. It's based on an Arthur Miller short story. If you could take it from there.
Yeah. The film was written by Pulitzer Prize winning playwright and author Arthur Miller, and his daughter Rebecca Miller had the rights, and so I went to her, and her husband Daniel Day-Lewis was in the background, kind of observing and cueing and whatever, and he is the greatest living actor and come out of retirement, thank God. And so it was a very intimidating phone call. I somehow got the rights. My sister Shira Piven put it together. She adapted the piece.
It's really a family collaboration as well, because I understand that your mother, at least in the early stages of it, brought this to either your attention or to the family's attention and thought it was a good role for you many years ago.
Yeah, my mother gave me the short story out of the New Yorker called The Performance by Arthur Miller 15 years ago, and she said, "This is a great role for you." And that's all she said. And my mother, she's been directing me since I was 8 years old on stage. And so when she says things, they really land. And boy, was she right. It's the best role I've ever had in my life.
Now, it's a story of a very ambitious, lifelong tap dancer who wants to further his career. I'm making it a pretty basic summary for it. But he finds himself in Nazi Germany at the near height of that regime coming into power.
People like you are trying to get out of there. Wake up! I've never had a house. I've never had a family. And you're gonna tell me I can't go for what I deserve. So, let's go out there and give them a show.
What about this screenplay resonated to you personally on that level?
What didn't resonate? I think that's the question. I think every single thing resonated. And by the way, I'm hearing, for the first time in my life, I'm hearing and I'll just quote some of these incredible publications, a career-defining performance, the best work of your life. This is what Variety and Pete Hammond and at Deadline and these incredible reviewers have said, and I'm so really just honored and blown away. And it's funny when someone says you've disappeared, and in this particular role, I reappear. Because this is closer to me than any role I've ever played. And you asked me how these things resonated with me. Yes, I am Jewish. I was bar mitzvahed in a very, we were called the Reconstructionists, a very liberal kind of eccentric group. We prayed to whom it may concern, and I was bar mitzvahed, and I'm tied to my Judaism. And I think that when, we're living in times where, we say never again about the Holocaust, and never again means now. This movie takes place in 1937 with the backdrop of the Holocaust, which is a fascinating time because Harold May, my character, really believes, because no one's ever thought he was Jewish. He's always passed, as they say. So my character really thinks, okay, the anti-Semitism is starting to rear its ugly head, but we're still okay. I got the best offer of my life. Here's a guy that really loves what he does, as do I. And he wants his work to be seen, as do I. You know what I mean? There are a lot of parallels. I'm sure you could look at this role and go, well, a lot of parallels to Jeremy. And I think that what we do, has value. And we both think that art can override hate.
All right, sir. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tim.
Come on, let's go.
Everything starts with preventative care. We can really change the way a person's life will turn out if they just do preventative medicine. Just having an established provider that you can follow up with on a regular basis just to check and make sure everything's going okay, I think that can really make a big difference. We're always here. You can always get through to someone. We are available to everyone. We have a lot of good resources for people, and you're never going to be turned away.
And coming up a little bit later in the show, we're going to just create a lot more of this, which is
New Orleans barbecue shrimp.
Wow, so good.
We want to help students when they come right out of high school, but we're also here for the adults. After high school, I went to my local community college, and after my first semester, realized that I wasn't quite ready to go to college. And I went back to work in construction for roughly about 15 years. And at the same time, I took classes at community college. It's this idea that you can go back to school at any time for anything, and that's what a community college does for you. That's what John A. Logan does for you.
My son was a huge factor in my decision to quit. He came home from school one day talking about how every cigarette takes so many minutes off your life. And he's like, well, if you're smoking and Dad's smoking, I'm just going to be by myself. And it was like a heart punch, you know, and I was like, okay, we've got to do something different. So that was kind of what pulled the trigger for me, just broke my heart. But I picked a day that was going to be my quit day. And it was my mom's birthday. I'm going to quit June 20th. I'll never pick up another cigarette again. And I haven't, 6 years later.
We're gonna play
I Make the Face.
And You Make the Sound.
Swing!
Ah!
I'm the Cookie Monster.
I wanted him to keep going.
And we are spieling it in our Prairie Farms kitchen. And today we have a massive celebrity. I mean, you've probably seen his billboard. It's on Route 13 in Williamson County. Chef Brock. I mean, you're doing it over at Wren Lake College. Not only are you a phenomenal chef, you're now teaching the future chefs of America.
I've been doing this for 20 years and teaching for the last 4. And I didn't think I'd get to this point, but here I am.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
You like it?
Absolutely love it. Our students are our main focus, and we get to show them and also learn ourselves to keep up with what we're doing.
And you've brought all of the things that you need. And let me tell you, he has hit on everything that will bring people running to the kitchen. So I'm just going to let you get started. What are we making today?
Absolutely. So we're actually making our award-winning New Orleans barbecue shrimp. The reason this actually gets its name is because of the fact it's going to have that dark color, but it's a totally different flavor. Lots of heat, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of acid, lots of garlic, and just lots of love.
Nice.
So,
you know, I love that. That was a small flex there.
We were the People's Choice last year with this recipe.
That's awesome.
So we wanted to share it out and let people see what we're doing at Wren Lake.
I thought it was just another dig at Rachel Marks, you know.
Hi, Rachel.
Mrs. Everything. She's been on the show a couple of times. Her brother. What?
Yeah. I've known her my whole life. It's crazy.
You have known her your whole life.
And we've had this nice little running competition of what we can do. So hopefully this will be a little bit longer than her segment.
Yes.
I know my billboard was a little bit bigger than her sign in DuQuoin. I hate bringing it up. Gosh, it breaks my heart.
That's hilarious.
But yeah.
That is so cool. All right, well, let's jump in.
Sweet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and get my pan nice and warm. I've already started preheating it for the magic of television.
Yes.
And I'm going to add just a little bit of butter.
But you just went in with a whole lot of Prairie Farms butter, didn't you?
I went in with a ton of Prairie Farms butter. Because I'm going to toast up our baguette because that's going to be our garnish for the day. So I'm going to get this rolling. I put a little bit of butter in. Nice. It also is going to help with some flavoring of the sauce because we've already got that butter working. It's going to brown just a little bit. So I'm going to get these nice and toasted up, golden brown.
Okay.
Give them a good flip.
Good job. So you're teaching a lot of, not only are we talking about the food choices and creating an exciting menu, but there are techniques that you teach. I mean, usage of the knife, this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. So our students start off with just knife skills.
Yeah.
So we do 2 weeks worth of really honing in, holding your knife, how to do certain cuts.
Keep from chopping your fingers off.
Keep from chopping your fingers off.
Okay.
What's really cool is our program was started based on the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America's program itself.
Wow.
And we still use their book today, which is really cool. Yeah. So it gives us all those wonderful techniques that our students get for quite a good price.
Okay.
So they're learning the same as the
That's
best in New
awesome.
York. So now I'm going to kick this back on. I've got a little bit of butter residue down in there. It's browned up just a little bit. So I'm going to end up adding my clarified butter.
Okay.
Clarified butter is basically taking the milk solids out of the butter itself, and it turns it into almost an oil. So it's got a higher smoking point. So that means it can't burn. So I'm going to get that started. And as soon as it gets melted down, I'm going to add in my garlic and my shallots.
Let me take that.
Sure thing. Thank you. Give you that one too.
Yeah. Rachel lets me wear the clothes and the cape, and you let me. I've
my
got
sous
it.
chef.
I've got it. Your sous chef.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So now I've got all this wonderful garlic shallots in here. It's going to get very, very fragrant. And what I'm seeing is it's soaking up a lot of that butter. So I'm going to add just a little bit more whole butter. It's still got the milk solids in it. So I've got to be just careful enough that it's low, that it's not going to brown. But I'm going to soften all this garlic and shallots up. So as this starts to work, it's just going to start to melt a little bit. I can go ahead and start adding my seasonings. So I've got Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, exactly. I've got some paprika. And I'm going to hold off on the rest of it for just a moment because we can adjust this as we need.
Okay.
Cayenne red, same thing.
Okay. You went all in with that.
Yep. Some ground bay leaf. And if you can't find ground bay leaf, you can actually take some salt and a mortar and pestle and put it together, grind it yourself. Basically, it's so you don't have to pull out bay leaves for your guests.
Yes.
Or you're not trying to chase them around if they break into little pieces. Okay. And then black pepper.
Good.
And it's going to be very fragrant. So we're going to let this start to marry. It's going to allow those spices to bloom. So they're taking in all the leftover moisture in the butter.
Nice.
And starting to get very, very fragrant. It's going to be that beautiful dark color that we were talking about barbecue. It's going to have that color to it.
Okay.
But we've got our plates warming in the oven,
Look,
which also
a real
helps.
chef, I'm like, well, what are you cooking in there? Is it going to take a while? He goes, I just want your plates, to be nice and warm. That right there is the difference. That's a degree, no degree.
Correct.
See, I didn't know that.
And that's what we teach our kids, is our students. So I'm going to turn that off for just a second. I'm going to let the heat that's already in the pan keep going. So now I'm going to place our shrimp in, and I'm going to try and get them in just a good single layer. And obviously, I'm not the smallest person, so I like to add in lots and lots of shrimp.
Well, I can tell. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about shrimp, because here's the discussion. To eat the you-know-what or not to, which is the poop.
These are deveined.
Deveined.
So we have shell-on deveined. You don't want to eat that.
No, you don't. And I've had people time and time again say, just go ahead. I'm like, it takes just a little bit of time.
It's not hard. That's one of the cool things. Now, when we're talking about those head-on shrimp that we talked about earlier, sometimes it's hard, but it's just a knife slit down the back
all it is.
And then pull it out.
Yes. Okay.
I've got them almost all turning pink. There's still just a little bit of dark color still.
And I wish that people could smell this. It's amazing. But, that combination always makes people run for the kitchen.
So I'm going to grab our warm bowl, and we're just going to reserve those.
Yes.
So we're going to set those off to the side.
I've noticed you're not afraid to go in and just pick hot things up with your hands. I mean, you're that guy.
We get a little calloused.
Okay.
It's not exactly the perfect world, but yeah, as soon as you start working with us at the college, our students go, hey, I can start picking hot stuff up. And I'm like, within reason.
You better grow into that.
Yeah, within reason. So yeah, we do get calloused just a little bit, and restaurant hands are a real thing. As I'm pulling these out, I'm just setting them aside. The bowl is warm because the shrimp will cool off terribly fast.
Okay.
And this allows for the fond at the bottom of the pan, if there is any. Fond is the flavoring that we're going to get off the bottom that's starting to stick. And the way we get that off is acid. Lemon juice, white wine, tomato. And you can even use water. Water will actually pull fond up. And that's from the Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction is basically when proteins have lack of water and high heat, it gives us that browning. Everybody loves the Maillard reaction. It's what gives crust on bread. Yeah. It's texture and flavor. So it's kind of cool because it's that flavor we look for. It's that umami flavor. That's that everything we're looking for.
Shout out to our sponsor of the Spiel in the Kitchen, Prairie Farms. They are now out with a single serve iced coffee, everybody. And the crowd goes wild. So listen, their whole slogan, which I love this, it's like skip those long lines, get your single serve, and they're your favorite coffee house flavors. Single serve Prairie Farms, good job. They've always had it in the half gallons and done really, really well in stores, so it's nice to see that.
I like this, you can grab it, take it in your car.
And go, that's it. Okay.
So now we're gonna add in our cut up lemons.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Oh, you went all in with the lemon?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the juiced lemon you have, or if you really like the brightness of it, a whole nother lemon.
Okay.
I cut these a little smaller than the recipe that we're gonna put out calls for, just because of time's sake. If you're trying to cook these really quick, your shrimp are small. We want to make sure we can get these cooked down rather quickly. Okay. So we've put in our whole lemon. We've also got the reserved lemon juice from earlier. And I've got a little bit of white wine. I'm only gonna put in about a splash of white wine. We can always adjust later when it comes to the same with the heat and whatnot. And then I'm just gonna let these guys rip roar for just one second.
Let's talk about that, the usage of the wine. So many times people are like, oh, that doesn't really taste great. I'm gonna set it aside for my cooking wine.
Yeah, so what we can do is if you've got a wine that you're just like, this doesn't fit my flavor profile, cook with it. Because you're gonna lose a lot of the tannins that you're not necessarily liking, so usually it's dry for certain people. If it's too dry for you, set it aside, throw it in your cooking. Because yes, it does make wonderful flavors.
Nice.
And shoot, I even myself at home, I keep a bottle of Winking Owl from Aldi's all the time on my counter. It's what I cook with. It's $3 a bottle, and it's very, very easy.
There it is. Okay.
So your lemons are going to start to break down. Your sauce is going to get just a little bit cloudy, which is good. And then we're going to hit it with just a little bit of salt. That'll help break those down. The one thing you do have to be careful of is with acid and heat, the acid brings up the heat. So if you're not liking so much of the spice, you can do a little less spice or a little bit less lemon juice. You can kind of just play with it, but we all like it spicy here. So we're going to hit just a little Tabasco.
Nice.
So I'm going to add just a little bit more butter. I'm kind of a little bit low.
Yeah, because you've got to have the sauce for the dipping
It has
the bread.
to dip.
It's
It has
gotta
to
be
dip.
there.
It has to be a dipper. So something we haven't talked about yet is good quality butter. For this recipe, it's not just a, hey, let's go pick something off the shelf. You'll even see me pull it out, the Prairie Farms butter. It is absolutely wonderful. And when it comes down to our emulsion, the emulsion is what we're going to do when we take and get this sauce to come together. And it's going to allow, so it's unlike things coming together, so fat and water or oil and vinegar, and the cold butter is what sets that. It's almost like a beurre blanc.
Love that. Just the terms, that's one reason I enjoy going out is Just listening to the terminology, not that I know what any of it means, sounds good.
A beurre blanc is a mother sauce.
Yeah.
So it's a butter-based mother sauce. So I'm going to grab out our cold butter.
Okay.
And it has to be cold. The cold is what sets this in. I've also turned off my heat. And I'm going to start whisking.
Okay.
I'm going to make a lot of noise,
that's
too.
Fine. Make sure everybody's awake.
That's right. So I'm only going to add in just a little bit at a time.
Okay.
And I'm going to whisk this while I'm doing that. And this is going to allow it to come together. So it's going to pull all of that white wine, the lemon juice, into those butter molecules that are fat that would normally separate. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to be completely emulsified. So if you don't get it, it separates. Okay. It's not a permanent emulsion. So we've added our shrimp back in. They've got just about a minute or so to finish. So I'm going to add in my fresh thyme.
Nice.
And I'm going to let that start to work its magic. And we're just going to let it kind of wilt. And it's going to release that buttery flavor. So thyme doesn't get its call all the time because it's just kind of left behind. And people go, oh, well, what's that flavor? That butteriness and richness comes from the thyme. So I'm going to go behind you for our warm plate.
Yes.
Our shrimp is now done.
Okay. And this is such an important part of it is plating and
Absolutely.
Making sure it looks really, really good.
We eat with our eyes first. So if we come to the table, we actually just did an exercise with the students of, we set 11 plates up, all designed by other students, and said, which one would you pick without eating it?
Oh, wow.
And it allows for them to go, oh, I like that one, or oh, I like this one. And then understanding that you may come to a plate just because of the pure fact that it's beautiful.
And there's not one way, right?
No.
Okay.
No, there's tons of different ways. There's not a right and a wrong way as a chef. We try and teach that because the understanding is we all have different ways. Food works differently with other things. And if we do that, we can come to the same finished product.
Absolutely.
We may just do it 10 different ways.
Look, I've refrained from about as long as I can, so you have to let me know.
Perfect.
You know, when.
Perfect. Give me just one second.
He's a chef, so he isn't done yet.
So I'm just hitting it with a little bit of parsley. The only bad downfall to this dish, color. It's very brown, very red. So we have to have something that helps pop that.
And that's a rule.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You got to have something because if not, it's
one
dimensional.
Yeah, right.
It falls flat.
Wow.
So we've got that beautiful sauce ready for dipping. The shrimp are perfectly cooked. And they're going to be nice and spicy. So just absolutely wonderful dish. Would you like to try?
Congratulations. Yeah, heck yeah. And talk about organization in the kitchen. You did amazingly. I can tell you're also an instructor.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So that's what we call mise en place.
Okay,
So
yes.
it is going to be very, very warm, so please be careful.
Okay.
Mise en place is a French term for a place for everything and everything in its place. So you're supposed to get dirty with these. These are served with a bib.
I just went in with the shell for the first time ever. And you know what?
That's not bad.
The flavor.
Yeah. I'm going to go in with you because I'm going to mess up this pretty jacket.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to mention that I didn't ask you about?
If anybody's interested, contact Ren Lake. Sorry.
And you'll remember because, I mean, if you're driving down Route 13 in Williamson County, Illinois, he's there.
You get to see my beautiful face.
There he is. Yep.
Yeah.
You ate legs and everything, didn't you?
Oh, everything.
Man, you went all in.
I'm all in.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, if they want to find us, rlc.edu.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a great place. I started my adventure there. I'm actually a graduate. Chef Fairbanks is a graduate from there. And we try and give back as much to the community as possible because it's a passion of ours.
You can give here anytime you want. All right, we'll be right back.
Immediately went to the Strand, brought my luggage with me and everything immediately. You'll just see such a wide range of people, all ages, all walks of life coming in and seeking out basically whatever they need, knowledge, entertainment, they have it.
We see everyone, regardless of their ability to pay.
We're helping those that otherwise might not receive the care that they need. We provide courier service to all of our facilities and have a convenient drive-through service as well.
I'm really proud to be able to work for an organization that has that policy.
Our pharmacy staff and I look forward to meeting you and serving all of your pharmacy needs.
I knew I wasn't feeling so good, and I went in for a colonoscopy, and I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And that put a scare in me, made me reevaluate my life and what I was doing. And I knew that my tobacco use over the many years of my life had caused my issue. I knew I needed to quit, but the disease, it's hard. Addiction, boy, it was so hard. I'd quit times in my life, and it called me back somehow.
Hi, I'm Bradley Griffith. I am the director of Logan Fitness. We have so many different things to offer as far as the fitness center, the aquatic center, our classes. It's just a really great place to be.
It's a very friendly community. Everyone's very kind and welcoming here.
Everyone who's here is striving to better themselves. That's something that really drives me, and it's just an enjoyable environment to be a part of. I encourage anyone who has never been to Logan Fitness to come and give it a try, because I know that they won't be disappointed.
For youth who use tobacco or e-cigarettes, we are promoting the My Life, My Quit program that's for ages 13 to 17.
We want to make sure that they don't start to become addicted to cigarettes or vaping.
We go into schools and do classroom presentations, or we do large assemblies like in the gyms to share information about how they can get help if they already have an addiction.
But really the thing is, we don't want our youth and young people to become addicted.
So, we all follow the journey because that's the beauty of social media. We know where you are. We know you're safe. You're posting on stories. You went to the Big Apple.
Yes.
The girl from the small town, Southern Illinois, went to New York City.
Isn't that like the same story written a million different ways, though?
But isn't it so cool every time?
It is.
It's
insane.
amazing. Yeah.
It's insane.
What was it like for you?
I immediately met this super nice lady in the airport. I think they have a courtesy crew or something to meet.
Yes.
And so she got me on the subway, told me where I needed to go, and immediately went to the Strand, brought my luggage with me and everything immediately. You'll just see such a wide range of people, all ages, all walks of life coming in and seeking out basically whatever they need, knowledge, entertainment. They have it, all of it.
Those sections. Mm-hmm. All right, take a look at this adventure.
Hello, welcome to the Strand. This is my family bookstore located in NYC, 12th and Broadway. Let me show you around. Hi, I'm Nancy Bass-Wyden. The Strand is my family bookstore. It was founded almost 100 years ago by my grandfather, Benjamin Bass. The Strand was part of an area called Book Row. It was along 4th Avenue. It ran from the 1800s to about 1960 and just had a small store there. He competed with all these other brilliant booksellers. They had all different types of bookstores, and slowly everybody disappeared but the Strand. We have expanded. We have another store near the Natural History Museum. We have a presence at the LaGuardia Airport. We have kiosks in Central Park. We have a presence in the Moynihan train station. So there are 4 floors of books. This is one of our best-selling tables. It's called Blind Date with a Book. We have our employee artists. We have about 8 of them. Everybody's picked books that they just love that are not as well known. Nobody's here. She did one of the book covers. Yes, this is the book. We have our perennial best of the best. These are not necessarily the popular ones, but things that we all think that everybody would love to read. Of course, we have a book talk table highlighting things that have really done well on Book Talk. Lots of escapism, lots of romance, some sci-fi. We need that in these days. And then because we're in New York and all the authors live here and publishers, we have so many books that are signed by good authors. We have coffee here. We have lots of merch. We're here in the rare book room. We have lots of treasures, antique leather books from the 1800s with kind of gold gilding on it of all different classics and all different kinds of subjects. We have art books here, signed editions, just really cool, unusual things that just kind of come through our desks here. And then the other floors below us have art and kids, and we have every kind of conceivable subject here at the Strand, old, used, and new books. In the rare book space, we hold events almost 4 or 5 times a week. We had Bill Gates and Katie Couric right here. Oprah came here for her Oprah Winfrey Book Club, but we just get lots of authors that are not as well known, but the great discussions. All the audience asks questions. It's a nice sense of community. We're easy to find online. We have a website, which is strandbooks.com. We have almost all of our offerings here, but it's great when you come to 12th and Broadway, please come by because there's carts outside and books are constantly coming in, and it's just a wonderful community.
Let's pray together. Lord, I just thank you for this time. I thank you that everything is for your glory. Nothing can be done without your strength and your wisdom. So we pray, God, for this move, that it open new doors, new content, and that it open even opportunities for the crew and the people that come on this platform. We thank you for all that you're going to do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, this show is over, and we just can't thank you guys enough for watching the show, subscribing, liking, everything that you've done. We have spent the last 5 years in this studio, and this studio has created careers, has emphasized new guests. We've had so much crew come through here and out back the door, and now they're everywhere all over the world doing what they love. And it's only because of you, the viewers. And we can't appreciate you enough, because this is where my career in filmmaking and audio has really took off. And like I said, we couldn't do without you guys. And so we appreciate you. We love you. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that's why we do it. We'll see you next time.
Do I need to run across that with some dam to get those footprints, or what's? You know what I mean? I can shoot across and you see this, it's not bad. Yeah, you will. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I think that was cool.
Last day in the studio.
I think we still have to move.
I mean, we still have to move, but it's our last show in the studio.
Yeah.
Officially our last show.
Today is our last show shoot in this studio, and we couldn't be more sad about it.
So we're moving.
Mm-hmm.
How's that make you feel?
It's very bittersweet. This is not the career I had imagined myself in. I really had no idea that something like this was possible. So going from really never having used a camera before to having it take me so many different places, and it's thanks to like the opportunity I was offered here, that is overwhelming in the best way possible.
How's that making you feel, Angie?
I've done this a long time and had a lot of people come through, and every time we relocate or do so, which we haven't done a ton, it's exciting because it means new beginnings, it means new opportunities.
Yep. When was the first time you were in the studio?
I think it was 2020.
Was that a show shoot?
Yeah.
Besides Angie, are you the only one here that's been to that?
Lucas was here, but he had that was like his first show shoot.
Yeah, I took a peek at the show this week, and you got a little emotional. emotional.
Yeah, why wouldn't
It's been a lot for. I had forgotten that this is where you
This
walked
has
on
been
set.
our life for the last 5 years in this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was an intern, and then had a little guest appearance while I was interning. I don't know, about 7 years ago now, I think. It's cool. It's full circle. It's kind of there's some nostalgia, some reminiscence, and it's just fun. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to clip this on for what my plans are. So I mentioned that on top of the camera there is a hot shoe.
Bless you.
What I want you to do is like, I want Walker to lay down on the ground, and I want you to put like the little birds around his head, so it's like you got like really got knocked out.
Walker, you own the studio, right?
Yeah, I came here 2 years ago. My first show shoot was Tiffany Moss. She was a makeup artist that came in. She did like
I remember that.
cool special effects stuff.
Yeah, we gave her a camera to do a time lapse.
It's crazy. It's the only growing media world I've ever known.
What's up?
Yeah, so how many people does it take to set up one light?
Is this supposed to be like, is this a joke?
And I remember when I used to say, hey, can you pick up, I'm not comfortable being in front of the camera, is what he said.
If I'm not in front of the camera, then I'm not living.
You're not, I know. He's like, he always asks, can I just do this and that and everything. He is always ready for his close-up.
Yeah, I mean, I do my makeup every morning as if I am gonna be on TV. So I think one thing that is big enough for me, I think, and a lot of people, is like, you never really get out of your comfort zone until you get out of your comfort zone.
Way out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I've been out of my comfort zone for the last 5 years.
I don't want to put the pen in your life. You know I never want to settle. No, I don't want to waste your time.
I grabbed me a shrimp here, and I've had several people ask me to eat it with the shell on it. But to me, that is like the shrimp's fingernails, and I'm not about that life. If I try to eat the shell, I've done it before, I will gag.
I don't know. I don't look at shrimp that way. Gosh. Some kind of perv. Okay, maybe a little bit. Actually, go back up here. Not a lot of people know this, but I'm actually allergic to not eating shrimp.
All the way to quick seared tomato.
Yeah.
Hey, how's my plate, bro?
Well,
Now I can't eat my shells.
community plate.
The final words on this studio, we spent a lot of time making it look really nice and getting it like set up to look like a good production space. And we're gonna have to do that all again at the new place. But it's gonna be fun. It's a new beginning.